Great Hobbies presents RCTV, your radio control authority.
On this week's episode of RCTV, Chris, we're going to be going all the way to Belleville for some high-flying jet action. You got to check out these screamers.
I can't wait. We're also going to have some mud fling and 1/5 action. These cars are huge, and I can't wait to see it.
And back to submarines, all the way up in Bobcaygeon, man. We got one called the Seaview, back from the 60s. Now, Rick, what an amazing-looking sub. Most of you fans out there of 60s shows, in 1961, there was a show called Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. This is the actual sub, and Rick built it.
Voyage to the bottom of the sea.
Now, did this come from a kit?
No, I built it myself from
built
scratch.
it yourself?
I made the master, I
Fantastic.
created molds, and laid up fiberglass parts.
Yeah, and later on, I guess this went into a regular TV show
Yes,
in the
it did.
States as well. Ran for, what, about 5-6 years, I
About
think?
4 years, I think it
About
was.
4 years, too.
I just started carving it out of styrofoam and body filler. When I got it to the shape that I liked, then I made a fiberglass female mold.
Well, let's look inside and
Alrighty.
show me what it looks
We have
like.
a gel
all the
cell
detail
pack
in
that
here
runs
showing
the
up.
whole thing.
That's correct.
But give me a little bit of description about this.
All right, what I have is a watertight cylinder. Basically keeps all your electronics dry. And inside of it, I have a pump from a blood pressure machine.
You're kidding.
No. And I draw the air out of the cylinder, and there's a blood pressure cuff inside of this little bag.
Oh, they're like little
Yeah.
bags in there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's right.
And I guess that fills it up with air and you get the buoyancy.
Exactly, and then I have a solenoid valve that'll dump the air back into the cylinder and it'll recirculate it. It's a recirculating air ballast system.
Now, anything special about the electric motors as well?
The electric motors actually I got from Princess Auto. They're two small little bilge pumps that I hacked the pump part off of it and just used the motor because it has a nice little seal on them.
Exactly. They're this makes them waterproof.
Sure.
Now, I noticed you got a little bit of weights here, I guess, to counterbalance
Sure,
everything.
for trimming and whatnot and everything else. And a set of pump jets with a five-blade propeller and stator blades. And there's a set of dive planes and a rudder.
So pretty much everything, I mean, this is all, obviously all gets wet in here,
Sure.
but everything inside here, obviously the gel pack is sealed, you don't have to worry about
That's
that.
right.
Is that ever neat? Now
Thank
looking
you.
inside, we can show people the
Sure.
construction of how it's actually built, all the details that gone into it. Look at that. And that's taken a lot of work, folks. He's done a lot of detail. I mean, sure, just to get the shape and the wings here and everything. I'm sure, Rick, that if they ever wanted to do a movie again, they'd be calling you back up. That's fantastic. Now, what's the deal with the foam inside of here?
Just flotation to offset the weight of the motors or the battery. Like I've got a lot of foam up front to overcome the weight of the battery itself.
Now, it is quite heavy.
It's
I thought, it's not too light. What's the weight overall of the whole
I'd
unit?
say it's about 20 pounds with the battery on board.
Wow. Now also, we have its, obviously it's not scale to the submarine
To the
itself.
Seaview, no.
But what is that?
This is the flying sub from Voyage to the Bottom Sea again. When it became a TV series, they need an auxiliary vehicle to speed up the storyline. And we have to get somewhere fast. Well, it's going to take you days in a submarine, so they jump in a submarine jet
Yeah.
that'll launch from a berthing bow under the Seaview and then fly off.
And then fly off.
And this one is, it doesn't have a ballast system, it is a dynamic diver. And I have two speed controls, E-Flight type speed controls. I steer it like a tank, differential steering. And to control attitude, I tip the nozzles up and down, and that's the dive
So all you
plane.
do is you get kind of a tilt.
No, you
You're
get
gonna
up
get-
and down like
Oh,
this,
and up and down
but
like
you'll
that.
steer
But
like
you'll
that
steer
way.
like that.
Yes.
And you can see the back here where the steering comes from. So one side of the jet of water will come out stronger
That's
on this
correct.
side or stronger on this side. Is that ever
Exactly.
neat?
Yes, I mix the two speed
Sort
controls.
of like a Sea-Doo.
Exactly.
Sort of like a
Sort of
Sea-Doo.
like that.
And that is quite heavy.
Yeah. Well, again, mostly that's the weight of the two batteries.
Yeah.
I have two 6-volters to make up 12
Like
volts.
that's got to be about 10, 15 pounds there. And check out look at the detail, folks. That is fantastic. Now, was this a mold again too that
Yes,
you had to
it is.
make?
Yes.
So all from scratch.
Yes.
Well, that is fantastic, Rick. Thanks a
All
lot,
right,
Rick.
you're very welcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Nick Aminio. Nick, what did you just buy? I heard you picked up something really cool.
Yeah, I got a 1/5 scale Baja from HPI.
How is that thing anyways?
It's awesome. It's big, it's fast, it's fun.
Now, what's the difference between like a regular nitro, like a 110 or a 1/8 nitro? What's the
Right.
big difference between the Baja?
All the geometry and stuff, suspension will be the same. The only difference is basically the motor. You get a 2-stroke motor, runs on gas rather than nitro fuel.
Well, that's convenient 'cause you can go to any place and pretty much pick it up.
Exactly, exactly.
Nick, where you been running this great huge buggy?
Well, you need a larger track like Sprucewood or the number 5 RC Raceway.
And is it a lot of fun? Like, I know it's two-wheel drive.
Right.
What's the difference in a two-wheel drive? Is it?
2-wheel drive makes it a little more difficult to drive, but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun.
So, Nick, besides 1/5 off-road buggies, what are there else in 1/5?
Well, there's the 1/5 sprint cars.
Oh yeah, sprint cars. I almost forgot about those. Let's go take a look at some sprint cars. Here we go. Okay, we're here today with Fred Musgrove. How you doing? Fred, what are these vehicles? I mean, they're huge, they're monstrous, they look fast. What is this?
Well, Nick, this is a quarter-scale Outlaw sprint car. These are made by a company called Winter Circle Manufacturing, WCM, out of Texas. And it's a 4130 Chrome Alley tube chassis. We run a 23cc Zenoa gasoline motor mixed with 2-stroke oil.
How are these tires in comparison to like a different off-road tire?
Well, your off-road tires run more of a step pin or something along them lines, where on the clay we try to run something more like the real full-scale cars with like a block pattern, like a real Hoosier dirt tire or something. And Todd at BRP Manufacturing, he makes these tires for us. And he does a lot of research on the compounds and stuff. And these block patterns here are brand new this season.
And this wing is massive. I mean, I can take it off here. This thing is huge. Look at the size of it.
The faster the airspeed under the wing versus over, the more vacuum it creates and downforce it'll generate for the car. And then there's the sideboards, same thing. They stabilize the car in the straights and get the air coming off the side.
Like it's off center. Like the body's sort of over to the left side, and the right side of the vehicle here is sort of sticking up over. What's the reason for that?
To be 100% honest with you, I don't know the actual true reason behind it. As far as I know, basically you want more left side weight, so you bring the axle and the steering front axle out off to the right side a little bit. Helps keep the car more stable.
And once again, these are gas powered instead of nitro
Correct.
powered. So nice pull start,
Yeah, just
reliable.
give it a little tug of the rope, put some 100 octane fuel in it with some good AMSOIL 2-stroke, and away we go.
And away you go, and then
That's it.
50-50 mix, and there you go. Well, let's go see it out on the track in
All
a
right, Nick.
second. Here we
Thanks
go.
a
Check
lot.
this out, guys. Well, Nick, that was really cool. We saw some sprint cars. We saw a fantastic buggy.
I like the part where you hit the camera and
Oh, yeah, but I don't think he liked it, right? So let's go race, Nick. All right, let's go, bud.
It's time now for the RCTV Tech Tip of the Week.
Today, we'd like to talk to you about electric helicopters. Microelectrics is the fastest growing segment of the hobby. You can spend as little as $50 for this little electric one here. It's 3 channels, means it has height control, it has forward and back, and it can steer left and right with a pirouette motion. You go to the Blade CX2, the #1 selling helicopter that's out there. Tandem rotor head makes it very stable. You have full 4 functions. It'll fly sideways, left and right, up and down, forward and back, and your pirouette motion again. You go to a CP Pro, which is a collective pitch helicopter. It can actually fly aerobatic maneuvers now. It'll hover upside down, but it has electric driven tail. And then you go to something like the T-Rex, which has a full servo-operated tail with very pitch, fully aerobatic. It'll do any maneuver in the book. Why are electric helicopters so popular? Because they're very easy to fly. Something like the CX2 is super stable and what we recommend for somebody to get started in the hobby. For RCTV, that's your tip of the week.
Okay, Eagle's having problems right away with his truck. What he did is he replaced the servo, and then we think there's a little trouble with the servo saver. As you see, look, that's Eagle's steering right now. So this is what happens at the beginning of a race, guys.
Looks like my servo saver is slipping. Well, it's better. At the beginning of the week, Nick bought me a high torque servo. So I put the servo in the truggy.
Yep.
But I didn't check the servo horn, which is a piece that connects to the steering.
Really nice guy over there gave you one, right? Look at that, that's the high-tech one.
So that's
that
the
wrong
horn,
with
eh?
it, yeah.
Okay.
Now we're in panic mode right now. We got Sean over here, and Sean's helping us out. Everybody out here helps everybody when we're racing. And that's what it's all about, guys. We're all a team out here. A team of off-road racers.
There you go. Go figure. Brand new truck. It runs great, but yet can't get it started. Fried my receiver.
I had no steering because I had the wrong servo horn on. Actually, this used to be here. I turned it around so it's not rubbing against the servo. And now I got tons of steering. So we'll race the next race.
Unfortunately, my servo's been fried. My receiver's been fried. This is the kit servo, and you can see what happened here. It got really hot and burned a hole into it, which also burned out my, my own personal receiver. So now we've got another servo there, but now I can't get it in because the top brace is a little too small. So what he's doing now is trying to Dremel it to make the space a little bigger so that we can hopefully try to get a lap in. All right, let's see what happens this time around. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Chris! Go, go, go! Ah, for the love of Pete.
John, I'm coming in! Come on, guys. Come on. Not on my hood. You left me upside down, guys. Start again.
So for my first race today, I ended up making it in second in the D main truggy. Paul didn't make it because he has his truggy flamed out. A lot of guys had problems today, and mine was just running really, really well. I had some steering issues. Fine-tune it and go on to the next race.
It's time now for the Big Boys Tip of the Week.
Hi, I'm Alex Morgan. Today I want to talk to you about air filters, fuel filters, and some glow plugs. Fuel filters are key to having a monster truck so that you keep all that sand and debris that may get in your gas tank from getting into your carburetor. Air filters, it's always good to have a spare couple. They will get dirty and you don't want all that grut and dirt on them to get into your carburetor and into your engine. Glow plugs. Different glow plugs are out there and are available from hot to cold to medium. Different engines require different glow plugs. Check with your local hobby store on all of these things that I've mentioned to find out which ones suit your truck, monster truck, boat, or plane the best. And that's your Big Boys Tip of the Week.
Today we're coming from Belleville, from CFB Mountain View Air Base here in Ontario. We're going to be seeing some fantastic jets at the Belleville Jet Rally today. Personally, I'm probably not even allowed to be here. I think I'm in a restricted area right now. They got these beautiful, I've never seen some of these snowbirds. You see what I mean? So folks, we're going to see some jet action in a second. I'm out of here. I got in trouble earlier over there.
Oh, you went to see the real ones?
I went to see the real ones. What made you guys put together an event like this?
When we started in 1986, we decided we'd do something with the club since we could use this field here. The Air Force has been very generous with it, and it became very popular the first year. We had about 80-some pilots right off the bat, and well over 100 airplanes, and people were just having a ball with them. So we kept it going, and we've been going now for 21 years.
Wow,
just
it's a long
having
time.
a ball.
Pete, it's been a year. Why did you get this plane built?
Because I always loved the T-33 or the P-80. It originally was a ducted fan, and I converted it to turbine. It took me about a year to build. And it's got a JetCat P-70 in it, and it's just a perfect match. After the war, this one was used for racing, like a Reno-style racing. That's what the Indian logo in the front means.
How's the flying characteristics?
This is a really nice flying airplane. It is so predictable, so smooth. It's one of the better flying airplanes.
What did I tell you? I saw it coming right to the field. Look at it go, look. Wow, we just had a little tornado rip through, started at the field, came right through. As you can see, the people are just picking up all their stuff. I couldn't believe it.
Bon, David, tu as choisi un Snowbird.
Oui.
C'est quoi la raison que tu as choisi cet avion?
C'est un avion utilisé par justement les Snowbirds. C'est un CT-114 fabriqué par la compagnie Canadair. Et puis, c'est un excellent modèle pour commencer avec les turbines.
Parfait. C'est quoi les spécifications de cet avion?
Premièrement, il est équipé de air brake pour l'atterrissage. Et puis, ça permet de ralentir l'avion à l'atterrissage. Il y a aussi des flaps pour aider à l'atterrissage. Les trains pneumatiques pour rentrer les roues. Et puis, j'ai des freins pneumatiques sur les roues pour aider à ralentir sur le...
Et le moteur, c'est quoi?
C'est une JetCat P120 qui pousse 27 livres de puissance.
Bon, et comment il vole, ce tout-là?
Ah, il vole très bien. J'ai pas fait de grands changements depuis le premier vol. C'est vraiment un avion merveilleux. En partant d'un plan d'origine de Canadair, je me suis pas trompé. Tout est parfait.
C'est bon. Est-ce que tu le conseilles à un débuteur ou bien je sais pas
Oui,
exactement?
un débutant qui recherche un avion scale. Et puis, c'est l'avion idéal pour apprendre à voler. Oui.
OK. David, on t'a vu voler avant.
Oui.
Il y avait de la fumée qui sortait de l'avion.
Oui,
c'est quoi ça exactement?
Bien, le fumigène, c'est simplement un petit moteur électrique qui sert de pompe et puis qui envoie un liquide spécial qu'on achète, on envoie avec deux petits injecteurs en arrière. Puis avec la chaleur, ça se consomme en boucane. C'est ça qui fait qu'on a une belle traînée.
Et ce liquide, il est quoi exactement?
C'est un mélange secret d'une compagnie qui est mélangé un petit peu de diesel avec de l'huile à lampe. Là. On ne sait pas exactement les pourcentages, mais c'est à peu près ça.
Et merci beaucoup et bonne chance.
Merci.
How long has this been around now?
It's been flying for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the detail is really beautiful. How did you get the nice finish on it?
It's some different sorts of film, metal film. Some of them is just from Canadian Tire and some of them is from the hobby shops.
Now, looking at this plane, right, it doesn't really have a large wingspan.
No.
Very easy to fly, or is there a little bit of a challenge?
It's not too bad, but the landing is always a bit of a challenge.
How long did it take you to build this?
About 6 months. It's basically a very basic kit, because all the detailing is smooth. You have to do all that yourself.
It looks like it's been through a war. Was that the intent of it?
It did go through a war a couple of times in the 7 years because we had some accidents with it, yeah.
How's the wind today? Is it performing okay?
No, the wind is a bit of a problem because it's crosswind, and that's the only thing this plane is not very good in. The crosswind is always giving it a bit of a wiggle, as you can see in the flight as well, and coming in with landing, you have to come in faster than you normally would. So it's a bit of a challenge.
Well, thank you very much. What a great plane you
You're
built
welcome.
here.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. Thanks.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of RCTV. On next week's episode, Ingo, we're going to be heading out to Mississauga for the Cool Boys Bash.
And I'm going to be going to heli school.
Oh God, Ingo's going to be up in the air. And also we will be heading out to London for some great nitro boat racing. So we'll see you then. Take care.
Closed captioning for RCTV is brought to you by Great Hobbies. RCTV is brought to you in part by Great Hobbies. Great service, great selection, great prices.